Co-sponsor. This is the Sarah Bracy White from the Arts Council of Town of Greenburgh. And can we give her a round of applause?
Hello everyone. Usually I'm welcoming poets, kids, their parents. It's nice to have an adult audience here today, but I saw a couple of children earlier, so they are part and are welcome to this. Money is the currency of the world we live in. It is important to know what the story is behind these green dollar bills that we work hard to get paid for. So I'm really happy to have such a large, diverse turnout to hear how we can make our money fly faster into our savings as opposed to into the story. So welcome, and if there's anybody who'd like to ask me about the other things that arts and culture do, besides hang pictures in our public buildings, I'm happy to talk to you about my writing program for children, about all these other things. So welcome, and I'm gonna let Lisa Marie tell you exactly what's going on and who's here to do it, because she's done so much background work that I haven't paid close attention to, but welcome.
Thank you so much. I know I'm supposed to, okay, Mr. Brown.
Grab the other mic, copy that.
Check.
Things that have good sound, people. Hallelujah. Good afternoon. First and foremost, I want to thank God for this opportunity. I can't even say enough words about how blessed we are to have these gentlemen a part of Greenburgh. So just first off of that, let's just give it a round of applause for Greenburgh sound. First, of course, we have to do some wonderful housekeeping. I would like to first call up none other than our town supervisor, Mr. Paul Feiner.
Thanks. I'd just like to thank Lisa for inviting me and for organizing this program. My wife right now is visiting our accountant because we have to prepare for the taxes. And if I read this book, then I wouldn't be driving a car with windows that open not automatically. So I'm definitely going to give this to my wife, and we're going to read it, and hopefully next year I'll have a new car. But again, I just really am so pleased that we have this forum today, and I think it's really great what the Arts and Culture Committee is doing, and we're going to all hopefully benefit from the knowledge we get. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I would like the town board to come to the front. That would be Councilwoman Ellen Hendricks. Let's give her a round of applause. We have Councilman Francis Sheehan. And I do know that Councilwoman Jackson is, if not here, on her way. Let's give Gina Jackson a round of applause. The Honorable. And just want to make sure that we're doing proper housekeeping. Does Honorable Joy have another event, or?
I think she's away this week.
She's away, no problem. Let's give Honorable Joy Haber a round of applause just again. And I will now hand it over to Councilwoman Hendricks.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for coming to this event, and thank you, Lisa, because it's highlighting two people that really care and really worked hard, and they're ours, they're Greenburgh. So we honor them by being here today. Thank you. We'll learn a lot. I will too. And I do have automatic windows in my car. But there are other ways I can learn too. Thanks.
You can see what happens when you put Lisa Marie Nero in charge of organizing something. There's no way somebody in this town does not know about this book and this event. Even as of last night, still working it. It's really great when we can celebrate our own.
Yes.
And that's really what this is all about, is two people from Greenburgh having really great success story, being able to share that. So they are basically paying it forward by writing that book. We think that this is going to be inspirational. Of course, being here and reading the book is not going to get you rich, even though you deserve to be rich. There's some work involved, and that's on your part. But I do have windows that are automatic, and I have air conditioning. But I can still do better. Thank you so much.
I'm going to take this out of order only because I see. Oh, yes. Let's give a round of applause for our town board. Such an amazing group to work with. And I see Mama Jackson, so I know Councilwoman is coming. However, I would be remiss if I did not announce the first Black County Westchester executive. Ken Jenkins is in the building. I'm gonna have Councilwoman Gina Jackson come straight up here, pocketbook and coat and all, sis. You got majority leader timing. Go ahead, sis.
I don't know what I'm doing, but good to see everybody.
And please give a round of applause for the Honorable Gina Jackson, who serves as the liaison for the Arts Council Committee. Just a few words. Councilwoman Jackson.
Okay. Talk about put on the spot. Good afternoon, everyone. It's always great to be here. Congratulations. Where is my?
They're in the back.
Oh, they're in the back.
Yes, they're in the green room.
Okay. In the room. Again, very proud of our very own Greenburgh's own Earn Your Own Leisure, who has given so much to this community, willing to give back, who has taken their journey to share all of their learning and their thoughts and how to move us forward. So very excited to really be here today and see the representative. I'm losing my voice because, of course, I get thrown into this, but very excited to really be able to really be proud of them and really just see the great work that they are doing for this community and to help us move forward. We unfortunately in a trying state right now, trying state. We understand what we see globally and what's going on, and it's not getting any better anytime soon. So we need references, we need support, we need what we can get, anything we can get to move us forward. So please, community, come together, listen together, sit down, and let's figure out how we together collectively can figure out how we can move forward, because we are definitely challenged. So thank you very much, glad to be here, and Troy and Rashad, I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you.
Now, if I can reintroduce the Westchester County Executive, Ken Jenkins. I see his details, so he's not too far behind. Round of applause.
All right, so first, you don't want to hear from me. You all need to hear from Rashad and Troy, right? But the reality is that this is so really important, and thank you so much to Lisa Marie Nero and the team here in Greenburgh, Sarah, and everyone else. I saw all those folks, I'm not gonna name any names, right? But it is really important that folks give back. And we really need to recognize and give them a great big round of applause when they come up here, because again, they don't have to do this.
Yes.
Right? They don't have to do this. They want to make sure that we have this opportunity, that we can lift ourselves up. I know I still had 260 air conditioning when I first had my ride, right? You know, we roll 2 windows down, you go 60 miles an hour. All right, with that, let's turn back over. Again, we're ready to go. So, thank you, Lisa. All right, good to see you.
Black County Executive, Westchester County. Okay, now, I must also acknowledge all the commissioners, all the staff, everyone who is a Town of Greenburgh Commissioner, Director. Please stand up so you can be acknowledged and welcomed. Town of Greenburgh Commissioner Regina. Anybody else? I'm just like, there's only one person here? Okay, copy. All right, and now, cue the music.
Uh-oh.
We are proud to bring you our icons living. Rashad Bilal.
What you call an icon?
Troy Millie. Can we get another round of applause for them?
If you don't know what Kool-Aid means, that's what's up, y'all.
Okay, so Sarah, if you can help me, please. Okay, so this is where we are going to give them their flowers right now, all together. Just 1 second. So, just to prove I read the book. So, what took me out? Acknowledgements to the town of Greenburgh, where my roots are deeply planted and my dreams began to flourish. You've given me purpose, my family, my career, my business partners, and most important, a place to call my home. I love education because of you. I love community because of you. Let's give that a round of applause. So, long list, okay? So, we are going to start off in congressional federal order. So, this is a replica of a flag from Congressman George Latimer. The flag that's on its way was flown over the Capitol on March 13th, and he presented also proclamation for both Rashad Bilal. Therefore be resolved, Rashad Bilal, in honor and behalf of the United States House of Representatives and the constituents of the 16th Congressional District of the State of New York, this 21st day of March 2026, for your work expanding and promoting economic and financial education towards his community. George Latimer, Member of Congress. And of course, Troy Millings. Therefore be resolved, Troy Millings, in honor and behalf of the United States House of Representatives and the constituents of the 16th Congressional District, State of New York, in this day, 21st day, 26th, his work expanding and promoting economic and financial education towards his community. Let's give them a round of applause. And I promise once the real flag is delivered, I will definitely give it to you, but I just want to make sure that you knew this, definitely. Okay, so then we have this is from the governor. Dear friends, it is my pleasure to send greetings to everyone gathered for the Greenburgh Town Clerk Fireside Chat with Troy Millings and Rashad Bilal. The Town of Greenburgh has remained dedicated to community engagement, improving the well-being of its residents, and spotlighting the accomplishments of locals. This Fireside Chat aligns with Greenburgh's mission to foster financial literacy, support local authors, and provide meaningful cultural events for residents today. It goes on and on, but Kathy Hochul, Governor. Proclamation from the Majority Leader of this state, Pro Tem and New York State Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins and Shelley B. Mayer, proclaim that we, New York State Senator and Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins, and the New York State hereby recognize that Troy Millings, we have an individual worthy of our highest respect and esteem, and will join the residents and the state of New York to proclaim March 21st as Troy Millings Day. And as well, Rashad Bilal to proclaim this day, March 21st, as Rashad Bilal Day. There's more. So, everyone knows I'm very good friends with the mayor of White Plains. I had the honor of having him swear me in, and he did this for hereby declare March 21st, 2026 as Earn Your Leisure Day in White Plains, New York, and encourages all residents to participate in this inspiring event and continue to pursue knowledge that fosters financial independence and long-term prosperity. Signed, Honorable Justin Brandish, Mayor of White Plains, New York. And I apologize, I was supposed to do Ken Jenkins first. I apologize. This is proclamation from the County Executive of Westchester County, whereas it is my distinct privilege to recognize and honor Troy Millings on this momentous occasion of a fireside chat with the Greenburgh Town Clerk, and therefore be it resolved that I, Kenneth Jenkins, County Executive of Westchester County, do hereby bestow upon Troy Millings the honor of Distinguished Citizen of Westchester County, and it is notable that he is worthy of this great honor and to be held in the highest esteem of all who know him. Again, resolved that I, Kenneth Jenkins, County Executive of Westchester, do hereby issue this proclamation to Rashad Bilal and honoring him as a founder, one of the founders of Earn Your Leisure Network. Round of applause. So Greenburgh, if I can have the Town of Greenburgh Town Board come up, please. I would like to say hello.
We meet again.
Okay. Oh, I don't have my glasses.
I'm sorry. Who has glasses?
I can do it.
You can do it? Okay, good.
Someone's
Awesome.
gotta hold it.
I'll hold the mic. There we go. Team effort here.
Okay, whereas to recognize Rashad, I'm sorry, I was reading Bilal already, so I might be for leadership in education, financial literacy, and community engagement through the Earn Your Leisure Network and related initiatives. Whereas Rashad. I just got it. Just go. I just had it. Whereas Rashad Bilal was born in the Bronx and grew up in the financial services industry, beginning with a summer internship at the Bilal Group LLC in 2005, located in Greenburgh, advancing to vice president in 2009 and partner in 2014, demonstrating a lasting commitment to financial literacy and practical financial education. In 2018, Rashad Bilal partnered with his lifelong friend Troy Millings to start Earn Your Leisure, EYL Network, which is an educational platform that has grown into a leading global business resource with an award-winning #1 podcast, online educational platform, New York Times best-selling authors, and a community of millions of followers. Whereas the EYL network provides behind-the-scenes financial perspectives across entertainment and sports industries, highlights entrepreneurs' backstories, analyzes business models, and examines current financial trends while blending traditional business concepts with pop culture for accessibility and engagement. Whereas Earn Your Leisure's mission centers on building as we climb together as a community, prioritizing collaboration over competition, and making financial literacy and entrepreneurship accessible to diverse audiences. Now, therefore be it resolved that I, Supervisor Paul Feiner, along with the council members of the Greenburgh Town Board, do hereby recognize and commend Rashad Bilal for outstanding contributions to education, financial literacy, and community development. The town clerk is directed to transmit an official copy of this proclamation to Rashad Bilal as a token of gratitude and commendation from the town of Greenburgh for the great enduring cultural contributions to our town, our county, and our state.
All right. Yeah, I do like, we should. Thank you. Just do the whereas. The resolves, not that we're trying to take anything away from this.
Yeah, just the result.
Yeah,
There we go.
I think you have a good idea of Troy Milling. So, whereas, but I was starting with, whereas Earn Your Leisure's mission centers on building as we climb together as a community. And I just had to say this again because this was important.
So you that one and then jump to that one, so we're gonna hurry this up. Make it.
Okay, Troy Millings, born in the South Bronx and raised in Greenburgh. You think I've never done this? I haven't, but has integrated music education and historical learning to inspire students and communities. His career began with a commitment to public education, serving in the New York City Department of Education, and most recently within the Central School District of New Rochelle. While teaching, he led Operation Crossroads as program director.
That's a big deal.
That is really amazing. A summer youth program at TDYCC, which aimed at enhancing financial literacy through culturally responsive education and practical work experience for secondary level students. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Supervisor Paul Feiner, along with the council members of the Greenburgh Town Board, do hereby recognize and commend Troy Millings for outstanding contributions to education, financial literacy, and community development. The town clerk is directed to transmit an official copy of the proclamation to Troy Millings as a token of gratitude and commendation from the town of Greenburgh for the great enduring cultural contributions to our town, our county, and our state.
All right.
I seal this 21st day of March 2026 to both Greenburgh Town Board, Paul Feiner, Joy Haber, Ellen Hendricks, Gina Jackson, and Francis Sheehan, along with Lisa Maria Nero.
All right.
Lisa, you get a picture. Pop it up for her.
Take a picture. Forward. Oh, I just wanna make sure. Where's everyone?
Where?
Where's that? Yeah.
Hey there. Cool.
Let's give it up for Greenburgh.
I have a Greenburgh book for them as well. This is our 200 bicentennial book, and it has all of Greenburgh's history. I have a Black History Month award because we were supposed to do this February 4th. And of course, the big finale. This is a proclamation from Honorable June Williams Johnson, congratulating both be resolved that the members of the Westchester County Board, and it does have all board member signatures on it, to join Chairman Vadat Gashi, representing the 4th District of the legislator Jewel Williams Johnson, representing District 8, honoring Troy Millings, and be further resolved that April 4th of 2026 will be proclaimed Troy Millings and Rashad Bilal Day in Westchester County, and it will appear on the Jumbotron. So hopefully you guys will be in town. We can do the photo op. And again, it's for both of them as well, for it to be resolved, Rashad Bilal and Chairman Vadat. So just, again, round of applause for these gentlemen, please. And again, we should always be cognizant of when we're giving other people their flowers. So let's give them one round of applause. Yeah. This was a little surprise that I had tried to get for you guys. So, this is Come on. This is the current map. And being that this may end up on YouTube, I'm not gonna say where you live. And so, this is the official response from Westchester County Emergency Services, renaming your street. And once we get confirmation from the post office, the sign will go up. That was one issue. So now I have to work on renaming the renaming Greenburgh. And then I will work on getting the honorary sign of EYL Way. And that I will work on. And last but not least, can I have the first lady of EYL please come up? Yeah. Okay. Because this is how we do in Greenburgh. That's how we do, sir. Now the chat.
Man, that's a lot.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna keep it on script. I'll keep it on script. I will keep it on script, gentlemen.
You're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing. Can we clap it up for Lisa?
Okay. Woo.
You're good.
Okay.
Can I talk about you?
Oh God.
Well, I want to first, thank you for putting this together. This is an incredible event thus far. But I also want to thank you when you talked about Operation Crossroads. My daughter was actually your intern, so thank you for being so kind to her and giving us some work experience. So thank you.
Thank you so much. As you know, during that ceremony, I was actually one of the first participants in Operation Crossroads, along with our maintenance supervisor, Anthony Graves. So let's just give it up for Operation Crossroads under the leadership at the time, now under Donnell Dinkins. Stand up, Donnell. Come on, Operation Crossroads.
I saw him. There he is.
Round of applause. And of course, Tina Harper. Where's Tina Harper? Tina Harper Dinkins. Oh, she had to go back. Okay, no problem. Let's hear it up for our Senior Recreation Director. Round of applause. Excellent. Okay, we are all Greenburgh residents, Woodlands High School graduates.
Too worried over this.
Last one.
Okay. And this is a question for both of them, of course. Can both of you share your past experience in the area of financial education?
I think, thank you for the question. I think that's why this is so important, because the financial education piece is rooted in here. Even in the book, he's alluded to it in chapter 2 about not having financial education. My family is from Jamaica, and so I'm first generation, and we were living in the Bronx. And my parents were like, we gotta figure out a way to get them out the South Bronx. This is like the late 80s. And they bought a home in Greenburgh. They bought it right in Parkway Homes, Perry Avenue, if anybody's familiar. Somebody lives on Perry. Yeah, but it was like the dream, we're moving on up. Not having a financial education at the time wasn't something they thought about. And so, you know, I say we as a family, signed an adjustable rate mortgage and not a fixed rate mortgage. Yeah, so you know how this outcome goes. But it's interesting, you know, at the time you think, oh, we have a backyard, we have this big house, and in 2 years we don't have any of that. And Greenburgh was like, hey, this is home, where do we go now? I actually ended up in Granada on the hillside. It was the first time I see this guy in the parking lot. Interesting enough, but the idea of not knowing what's happening, the idea of saying who's controlling the money, how are we using money, how are we being smart with money, all those things that happen to you as a young child, you're not realizing it, but you start to get more conservative, more aware, more astute when it comes to money, right? So when it's lunch money, hey, I don't want to lose it, or when it's bus money, hey, I don't want to lose it, or when you get a job at the center when you're 15, hey, I can't spend it all. And the root of it is watching your family have something and then losing it and not knowing why. So I think that is the first piece of trauma that I've experienced, and it paved the way to have this type of moment, right? Being here, expressing that, knowing that Greenburgh plays a vital role in that story, but it's a triumphant story because now we're still here in Greenburgh as residents, yeah.
Yes, excellent. And Rashad, your experience in the area of financial education.
Yeah, well, first, thank you for everything that you gave us, like 30 different. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate
We
it.
had to be Brooklyn, they only gave you one.
Yes.
For me, I was always interested in finance. My whole life, my dad was an entrepreneur, is an entrepreneur. My mom was a teacher, so kind of having a very cautious person as far as my mom. She doesn't come from entrepreneurship. She doesn't understand that. And my dad, who is an entrepreneur, so there's pros and cons with both. Anybody in entrepreneurship or business knows that there's no guarantees. 1 month you might have a great month, you might not get paid for 2 months. So it's a lot of stress I think that comes with business, but always knew I wanted to be in business. Always was fascinated with finance, watching movies, Wall Street, all those things was very fascinating to me. And then, starting to read and learn on outside of school. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was like 18. That changed my life, and that was really a blueprint that kind of got me to think about what an asset is and what a liability is, and ownership and real estate and value, company, different things of that nature. So just, seeing how there's really two sides of the world. And as far as investor entrepreneurship, and then the other side, and a lot of times people aren't familiar with that if you're not exposed to that. So that was always very, very, very interesting to me, how people could just make money without really working. Like how you can invest and, stay home and look at a computer screen and be making money. That was always something that I was just fascinated with, as opposed to, trying to be a doctor or a lawyer. That wasn't really my calling, that wasn't my career path. So, and I was always hard-headed. Coach Van Dam would tell you that. So it'd be difficult for me to work for somebody. So kind of had no choice at that point. But yeah, just getting that exposure and not really knowing exactly what direction I wanted to go into, but knowing that I wanted to be in business somehow, some form of fashion. And then, being able to start earning leisure. Troy, our other partner, Mike, who's from Greenburgh as well, in Atlanta. But, our friends that we grew up with. And we started a few businesses before that did not work. We started a business for DJs. It was called Jock Drive. That didn't work. Then we started another fashion blog called Fashion Wave. That didn't really work out. So this is the successful business that we have. But there's been multiple other businesses that I wouldn't say they're affiliated, more so learning experiences. You learn from everything. And you know, we stayed with the idea of you know, working together in entrepreneurship, and now we got here. So yeah, that was the beginning as far as my journey of wanting to be an entrepreneur and how we got here.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for the candor, thank you for the honesty, thank you for the transparency. Appreciate that from both of you. Next question is, in your book, you said there's a need for policy intervention, and you suggested increasing access to capital, increasing access to capital to underserved communities, to granting reparations to Black people to atone for slavery and systemic discrimination. Self-plug, I'm working on my dissertation on HR 40, and I would love to hear what it would look like from your perspective and your thoughts on the bill itself, either federal or state, because federal is stalled, state is moving.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting topic. You know, we talked about reparations for a long time with different people in Congress. We talked about it with scholars. We talked about a variety of different standpoints. So I think different people have different ways how they look at it. Some people look at it from a monetary standpoint. Some people look at it from paying less taxes. Some people look at it for business grants. People look at it for educational grants, baby bonds, a variety of different things, I think. But I think that the idea of, you know, you can't really move forward until you fully address what has happened in the past. And, you know, it's not honest to say that, you know, we have a level playing field, because we don't. And if you look at everything that we've been through, not just slavery, because that's what a lot of people would say, well, that was a long time ago. But, I mean, just redlining. And just, you know, mass incarceration and a variety of different factors that still exist to this day. Recently, Bank of America just settled a lawsuit a few years ago for discrimination as far as, you know, home lending. And even if you look at simple things like appraisals, these are things that we talked about early. So it is not something that's a foreign idea as far as reparations. It's just, I think it has been looked at as far as not something that's fair. A lot of people have kind of put a political spin on it. But throughout history and throughout American history, the idea of reparations, it has happened before, and it's not something that is foreign. So I think that it would only make sense to, if you really want to, you know, make it a perfect union, which that was the founding fathers' words, is that, you know, they want to move forward to try to work towards a perfect union, but can't really make it a perfect union until you address the people that actually sacrificed and built the nation for free, which is Black American people. So I think that the idea of reparations is not a pie in the sky. I think that is something that should be pushed, like you said, it's pushed on local, state level, because each state has its own identity and its own issues that it has to deal with, and then it's pushed on the federal level as well. So the legislation part of it is very important, but also just, I think keeping the conversation going is important too. I don't think we should just discard the conversation because it hasn't happened. I think that is something that's important to keep the conversation going.
Excellent, excellent. Just to piggyback off of what he's saying, just so you're clear, the federal level, it has been 37 years since it's been introduced, and it passed only in the Assembly and the U.S. House of Representatives. It has not passed in the state, which is where Cory Booker has tried to push that forward. So thank you so much for your perspective.
Yeah, I'll just add to it, the education piece is important, right? Because a lot of times we'll have a firm understanding of the general election, we don't have an understanding of the local election. And so if it doesn't pass in the Senate, it's because we're not electing the officials who have our thoughts and our wants in mind. And I think that's important, right? Like one of the things is we always stress is collaboration over competition. and working together. But like as a community, can we agree on something? Right, like reparations is something we feel like we could agree on, but have we? Have we put any effort, have we put any organization, have we put any capital behind that agenda? Probably not. Like, we're still trying to fight for financial literacy.
Come
in our
on, sir.
community, right? And so that, it feels like that should be something that we could all agree on, but we haven't. And so until we get our affairs in order, right, it's tough to ask or say like, this is what we want, because we don't know what we want.
That's
And
it.
so we gotta figure that out, that piece, but educating people, understanding why the want is needed, how you make something whole, how when, everybody is part of a conversation, right? Because it's not gonna be equal, but we're just asking for equity.
That's it.
And that's the most important thing, I think, as well.
Round of applause. I'm so glad you said that, because in the book that you all have a copy of, thank you so much. And let's give a round of applause for that, because this was very good. This is very good. It happened. But just in the book, that was one of the strategies was, assessing your wants and your needs. So thank you for that. And last, in the chapter, legacy, you discuss EYL, legacy building. Can you both talk about how we can gain financial freedom and how you can discuss some of the methods in your book to success?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I feel like, the word financial freedom has been used so much that after a while, it loses its impactfulness. So you really gotta kind of make it relatable as far as really having streams of income, right? That you're not relying on just actually going to work for. I think Warren Buffett said, if you don't make money while you sleep, you're gonna work till you die. So that's something that, just taking one step at a time, right? Like, anybody that's been through any journey knows that you don't look at like doing 1,000,000 miles in one time. Like, you don't look at losing a bunch of weight, you don't look at getting a PhD, anything, it takes time, right? So the idea of financial freedom sometimes I think can be like overwhelming for people that's just trying to just get through the day of like, I'm nowhere near financial freedom, like I can do whatever I want, but it's about rethinking, changing your mindset, right, and taking it one day at a time. So understanding the value of assets, understanding, okay, you might not have $1 million in the stock market, but you can put $100 a month into it, and then once you have $100 a month, now you can put 200, and then same thing. So you start with real estate, right? Like, let's try to own where we live as opposed to rent where we live, right? And if we could be a landlord and actually rent to other people and get passive cash flow that way. So I think it's the journey that's the most important aspect of the financial freedom that people kind of miss. But the mindset is very important, and how we look at money is very important as well. Like, a lot of times we think about money and we're trained to think that the purpose of money is to spend it on things, right? It's like you go to work, you get paid, and now the money that you got paid, you pay your landlord, or you buy a pair of shoes, or you go out to eat, and that's kind of the psychological pattern that most people relationship with money, is that I work for money, and in exchange for that money, I'm going to give it to other people for services and products, and then it's this like, oh, that's not really a pathway for anything other than continuously doing that for the rest of your life. So when you look at money a little differently, and not just that, but also an opportunity to make more money, then you value it differently, because you don't just spend it at any given moment, because you look at it like, okay, if I spent $100, that $100 could have potentially turned into $200. So I'm not only losing $100 that I spent, I'm actually losing $200 because the potential of that upside gain, right? So I think that that's very, very, very important. It's like our relationship with money. The relationship that we have with money, a lot of times is not a productive relationship. It's a consumer-based relationship that's going to keep us on that treadmill. So rewiring our education in our own head as far as, how we look at money, how we value money, our relationship to money, I think that's the beginning step to the pathway of financial freedom.
I think we're in such a unique time, right? Even the name of the brand, Earn Your Leisure, I think it makes you have to question your mindset about what leisure is. So I always ask people, like, what is it? They say it's such a great title. I'm like, okay, what does it mean to you? And they say freedom. Well, I'm like, what does freedom look like? And I think what's important here is that we have access to it, right? Because if I look around here in Greenburgh, it's a very unique place. You have people who own homes. You have professionals in corporate and tech and finance. All those things exist here. How do we get access to it? And I think our example, just humbly speaking, is that we're kids who went to Williams High School. We're kids who worked at the community center, and we're still here, right? And so what does investing look like? Well, you can watch us do it, right? And you have access to seeing us do it. And so when we think legacy, I never can write my legacy, because I always said this as a teacher, that the people I impact will write it. And so like, my former student who was in Crossroads, he's here right now. My former classmate who's on the school board, she's here right now.
That's right.
My high school basketball coach, he's here right now.
That's right.
My kids are here right now. You're here. You get to write the legacy and the impact that you felt in our presence and what we left behind. And I think the most important part is that I don't want people to have the idea of financial literacy as the end all be all. I think we have to be financially fluent. And Greenburgh has that. Right? This isn't, we don't understand, we do. Right? We came from the Bronx. We lived in apartment buildings. I came here, I lived in a house. That's very different. Property tax is very different. School tax is very different. Right? Sanitation, having school bus, all those things are here, but are we communicating with each other? Are we building with each other? Are we expressing our experiences with each other? That's how we grow, that's how legacy gets built, not just as individuals, but as a community. My wife is here, she don't kill me.
Yo, it's my day. Yo, they said it's my day.
Today's our day? I get a pass on that.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're gonna, everyone who registered, I definitely asked for questions, and I wanna thank everyone who did submit a question. So now we're gonna go into the registered guest questions. Can you guys talk about long-term investment strategies, when to enter and exit, as well as the easiest way for beginners to understand charts and patterns?
Yeah, we'll make this as simplified as possible. I believe in the stock market, I believe in the U.S. economy, and the best way to make money. And if you look at the wealthiest people in the world, they've done something very strategic. Each one of them, whether it's Zuckerberg, it's Bezos. They created
From Ardsley, by the way.
From Ardsley, Greenburgh resident, right? Born in Greenburgh. They created a business, right? They took that business public and they had people invested in it. And so if that is the route to wealth for the wealthiest people, why are we not participating? And so we always stress, and I see my man Sean here from Willands, I want to start them young because I want to tell them, like, hey, you can invest at any stage of life, right? At 18, you can be investing on your own. As parents, we can invest for our kids as early as we want. We can create an other account for them. So investing in the market, I think, is vital, right? Real estate they can get to, commodities they can get to. I mean, I know some of them might be trading cars right now. Teach them the idea, the fundamentals about which companies, are relevant to them, right? I talked to my son about Roblox. He has shares of NVIDIA. Keep that in the lexicon of the conversation, right? How do we get them more involved? And for those who have no clue of any company, just invest in the entire market. So we always talk about index funds, which is a basket of the S&P 500, which is a basket of the top 500 companies in the sector. You have the Dow Jones, which is the 30 companies, and NASDAQ, which is pretty much all tech. And so if you have a phone in your hand, if you have a computer at home, if you're using ChatGPT, you're part of the tech economy. And so rather than being a consumer, we can have ownership. And that's the trick that we have to get our young adults, and even our adults of our community, like, we can be owners. Everybody won't be a boss, but everybody can be an owner. And we should take advantage of that. Yeah, and so ETFs is another way to do it, but having the conversation, educating our young adults with the hopes of the future trajectory of them, and then learning with them. right? That's what when we decided to create curriculum, it was like, yes, we can educate the child, but when that child takes it home, now we educate a household. And I think that is the way. We have to have everybody involved, everybody have buy-in, so that we feel like we're learning together, again, to uplift everybody in the community.
Excellent.
You want to talk about charts?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
charts, yeah.
Charts and patterns.
So, I mean, charts can be very confusing. This is the simple thing, right? We want to sell high and buy low. If you can't remember anything, right? Sell high, buy low. What does that mean? That means when an equity or an ETF, right, a stock is at its 52-week high, it's at the highest point it's been all year, right? This is the point where we want to take profit. Why? Because that's what institutional investors do, right? We are retail, like individuals like us, we are retail. Corporations, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, those are institutional investors. And so when they see stocks or equities or ETFs index hit their tide, they're like, okay, this is perfect. Let's take some equity here, let's take some profit, let it pull back, and let's wait for it to hit a bottom, like when we look where it kind of settles at a number, like a moving average, and they'll reinvest again, right? What we do is the exact opposite. We're like, hey, NVIDIA's at 185, it's at its all-time high, it could go to 250, I better get it now. And that's because we don't have the discipline yet. Financial discipline is a whole nother topic, but understanding this is how it works, right? When we go to the mall, right? Shout out to the gal. Right? Yeah, shout out to the gal. But when we go to the Westchester, right? If, there was our favorite item on sale, it's not a question, right? They got the Jordans on sale for 30% off. We going in there and we buying it. Why? Yo, we got 30% off. When a company drops 30%, we're like, can't touch it. Can't touch it. It's the same exact strategy, but we treat it very differently. Why? We know how to consume. We don't know how to own. So when I see that 30%, I'm like, I bet. Let's put some money in here. Why? I know 88% of the time, the United States economy, the stock market, will appreciate it. It will go up. We've seen that. This is over 100 years of research. 87% of the time it rises. And so if it falls 30%, like I start to see some pullbacks now, I'm like, okay, time to buy. Time to buy. I'm treating it just like I saw something on sale. It's on sale, let's go get it.
Yes. Rashad, did you want to talk about beginners? You did a wonderful job talking about how beginners can understand and when to exit, when to enter. But what other type of long-term investment strategies would you suggest?
I think just thinking long-term as far as investment, a lot of times, it's like instant gratification. So people think, okay, I'm investing, and then I want to, see a profit tomorrow or next week, and if not, then they get frustrated. Or if they do make some money, then they take the money out. And I think, the best investments are long-term, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So having that mindset of, it's not about getting rich quick. Like, you have to be disciplined, and you have to, have a long-term vision of any investment, really, even real estate, right? Like, you don't just buy a home and then move out the next week. So I think that's important for people to understand that, go into it with a long-term mindset, a long-term vision, and not a short, day trader type of.
You just gotta add something?
Yep, please.
No, because when you said real estate, I thought you was gonna say relationships. So, sorry about the crazy.
Wait, I love the fact that you had a dating chapter in there. I love it.
Also important.
Yeah.
It's a married chapter now. But when we talk about real estate, I drive past Perry Avenue all the time, just as a reminder. I still have the picture with the picket fence and the White House and the big yard. But in 1988, when my parents bought that house, the book actually made me unpack this with them. The first time I had a conversation with them was about the houses around the book and creating the chapters for it. And I was like, how much did the house cost? Like, how much was this house? And they're like, it was $180,000. Yeah, right? So I'm like, damn, so what was the mortgage? And they were like, I think it was $1,100 a month. I feel bad for me already. And so I was just like, damn, imagine if we still kept that house to this day. And so just for hypotheticals, I went to see how much the house is worth now. Because it is at the center, it's the center point of my story, and it's like worth 1.2. And I'm thinking to myself, one piece of information could have changed everything, right? Like if they don't have the adjustable rate and it's fixed rate for 30 years, am I now sitting in a home that's worth 1.2? Are we taking equity out? What does my financial journey look like? But I don't regret it, because if it didn't happen, we wouldn't have any leisure. But it's just a reminder of what one piece of information can do to a family.
Yes, no, excellent, excellent. Again, thank you so much for sharing this. I mean, they're sharing stuff that is in the book, but it's not in the book. So thank you so much for that. What piece of advice did you receive early in your career that still resonates with you to this day, and why does it still resonate with you?
I'm gonna give Rashad credit here, because when he was 23, he's 23 years old. I remember we sat in the Granada parking lot, and we were just trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna be a teacher. He's just graduated, trying to figure out what he's gonna do. I watched him lock himself in his house for like 2 weeks. Wouldn't take phone calls. Maybe he came out at night to watch a game at the center, then he would go back in. He was studying for his Series 7 at the time. I'm like, oh, he's going all in for this. And he became a financial advisor. And the first thing he needed was a client. And so the first thing I did was raise my hand.
All right.
And I was
All
like,
right.
yeah, I'll do it for a client. A valuable lesson was told. Number one was brotherhood, right? Let's cement this is real brotherhood. Like, I'm gonna be your first client. If you're gonna mess up with anybody, let it be me.
Right.
And I'm gonna forgive you, hopefully. But what he did was, he was like, hey, you gotta get life insurance. At the time, I'm 25, 26 years old. I'm not thinking about life insurance. Nobody thinks about it. I don't have a wife, I don't have any kids. Why am I doing this? But it started to cement in me, like, plan for the future. Plan for the future. Plan for the future. And so I still have that policy now. I have a wife, I have 2 kids. I've actually updated those policies, but it started to ingrain in me, what happens if something happens to you? And so when people ask me what's my favorite quote about finance, I always say, plan for the future, because you're gonna be older a lot longer than you're gonna be younger. And I was like, damn, that's right, because, I'm 44 now, and I'm like, I might be pushing grandpa. They call me Unc, but I could be grandpa soon. Whoa. That's fine. I'm not sure what you classify.
All right, Van Dyke.
But planning for the future was that it was the first time I started to think long term. Like, let me plan for my future while I'm still young. Yes, I'll give him credit for that.
All right. And anything that resonates still with you today, to this day, and why?
Yeah, just, learning different things in business early when I was a financial advisor, and just hearing other people that were successful, older than me, saying words of wisdom. And one of the things was, not all work is created equal, as far as, especially in business, a lot of times we think that we're doing something productive, but we're not. It's like, we call busy work. But it's like, you should never do anything that you can't do. Anything else, you should find somebody else to do and pay somebody else to do it. So it's like a lot of people people will go into the office and, clean their desk and organize their books and, do a variety of different things, listen to a million voicemails, and you think, after you've done stuff, but you haven't, we used to call it revenue producing activities. If you haven't done a revenue producing activity, you're just wasting your time. So that was a lot of people kind of do that, and that's something that I had to learn early, was like, get somebody else to do it. Don't be afraid to invest. And I even told him that too, as far as hanging up pictures or mowing the lawn and different things of that nature. To me, I feel like I would rather have somebody else do that, because in that time I could focus on something that I'm better suited to do.
Come on now.
That's not my specialty. I'm not this landscaping specialist. That's not something that I'm specialized in. But in that hour, 2 hours, I could be making 10 times more if I'm doing something that only I can do.
That's right.
So I think in business, that's something that, it's hard for people to understand that at first. Because, we're also taught to be hoarders and not, hire people and not delegate authority and not trust other people, and we want to do everything ourselves, but it's like, you know, stapling a bunch of things, and that's not really helpful in the grand scheme of things. So that was something that I had to learn early and had to change my mindset on. And but it's something that I think was very valuable and still carried with me to this day. Like, only focus on things that only you can do.
Do you see why they are #1 Apple podcasters? Okay, and this is the last question. April is Financial Literacy Month. Does EYL have any planned events or specific speaking engagements already set up? And for April 2027, do you envision doing a mini Invest Fest at Westchester County Center? You're welcome.
Yeah, well, I'll answer the first one. How's that? Yeah, financial literacy month is something that's very important. I know a lot of people grew up and didn't even think that existed. But yeah, we're holding an event in the city on April 15th. And it's surrounded around.
Tax day?
That's how important it is. But it's really around curriculum, right? Like, this financial literacy month, we want to make sure that people are being educated on it. And I think we start with the core center of our community, which is our school districts. And so we want to start young, and we want to make sure that people get to see it. I feel like it's a travesty. I saw the other school districts that implemented just made it something that's mandatory. We live right here in Greenburgh, and we need to make it mandatory, right?
Yes, absolutely.
100%. Yeah, clap.
All right, Greenburgh School Board, we see you.
Went to school together.
Oh, get out of here.
Yep, I see you, Diamond. Yeah, but I think it's mandatory, and so bigger than a month, the curriculum lives throughout the year, and that's something that we need to make sure that it's impactful, because a couple of things that happen in life, you're always gonna need money, right? You're gonna need shelter, but the money can provide the shelter, and so if we're not educated on it, we're susceptible to making the mistakes that our parents made, our uncles, our cousins, we're susceptible to making the same mistakes. What happens if we get the education? Those mistakes start to eradicate. We start to see prowess in the world of education and in finance. And what does that mean for not only your family, but what does it mean for your community when better financial decisions are made? Yeah. You gotta let her answer the second one.
Oh, okay. No. Actually, I'm gonna take him off the spot for that. I actually, instead of Invest Fest, Westchester County, can you just, because a lot of people who registered want information about Invest Fest Atlanta. Can you please share just the growth? This is your 5th year. This is gonna be your first gala.
Six years.
So this is your first gala this year, correct? That's gonna be major. So if you can just share a little bit.
I appreciate it. Invest Fest, this is year 6. And like you said, it was an idea that started, and to see blossom to what it is now is really, humbling experience. It's one of the biggest business events in the world.
It is.
Wait,
right there, round of applause. You don't understand. This is worldwide. You don't understand what we have sitting here in Town Hall. This is, you're not, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so every year we try to add more to it. Every year, we try to see how we can get, more people involved, how we can get more vendors, how we can make the experience better. So as you said, this year we have for VIP night, we have a Black Tie Gala. We're gonna be honoring some people that's very important to the city of Atlanta. And I think it's gonna be a magical day. We're working on a lineup right now. We're working on the vendor marketplace right now. So, and we also, another important part of Invest Fest is that every year, at least for the last few years, a delegation of students from Greenburgh.
Yes. Focus on that, because that's amazing. And a round of applause for the town board, because they also, they put in a resolution and they help these kids get down there. So let's give a round of applause.
Shout out to all of the chaperones, Dave, Monique, the Theodore, the Young Community Center, everybody that's helped. Yes. Shout out for sure. And I think if you haven't experienced it, it's a great opportunity, you know, to travel with a purpose. You know, it's during the summer, so there's no school. And this year it's even earlier in the summer. It's August 7th through August 9th in Atlanta.
Yes, I have my hotel room. Thank you.
So, you know, it's great to get out of town, to go to the South, but also just to be around that level of entrepreneurship. Everybody's just positive, and people learning about crypto and stocks and real estate and networking with each other. And so much stuff is a very electric weekend that happens every year. So, you know, we're very proud of that, and continue to grow that. And yeah, that's the vision. So yeah, if you haven't, I would suggest that you try to make it.
Absolutely.
You know what? We take great pride, and I know our brother Mike was out here with us, we take great pride in knowing that the original idea for it came from Greenburgh guys. When we see 20,000 people up there, or up there with Magic Johnson, we're sitting there like, you know, this is a Greenburgh story. And so having support, we want to have more people coming down there, we want parents coming down there, we want to bring more kids. Because it really, y'all should resonate with it, because it is y'all story, it's a home story, hometown story.
And that is, I was actually going to bring that up because in one of the snippets, you know, Magic Johnson was like, y'all don't even have to pay me to come here. Holding to that. Very good. So what time are we at? Because I can keep them here all day, but I know their time is very, very valuable. What time? Oh, so I am giving, of course, duly honored. We're gonna have the last question to come from Honorable Councilwoman Gina Jackson.
I just have a quick question. Thank you again for coming out. That was an amazing message. But in today's time, the volatile markets and everything that we're going, we have gas prices, we have the craziness that's happening on the national level. What can we walk away, or what piece of advice can you give the community to start planning, for investing, and really how to navigate this volatile time?
Yeah, for sure. Great question. There's definitely a lot going on right now. You look at the geopolitical landscape and something that is very volatile. So there's opportunities in every crisis. Right now, we're seeing a drop in the market. Last week, we've seen a drop in the market. We're seeing a rise in oil prices.
Yes.
It doesn't look like this situation is getting resolved anytime soon. I don't think that they fully calculated what they were getting themselves into, unfortunately. So I definitely think that gas will continue to go up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There's nothing good about that.
And I'm drinking, and I'm driving an Escalade. Jesus.
Sorry to hear that.
My windows work.
But I do feel from an investment standpoint that we're gonna see some opportunities, because I do feel that the market will probably continue to go down, especially if it continues to escalate. So, you know, a lot of times people might have looked at something and like, okay, well, it ran up too much, and it's out of my price range already, or, you know, now I have to wait for a pullback. We talk about that a lot as far as waiting for a pullback, not buying high, buying low. So now you're gonna start to see, we saw this happen last year when Liberation Day. So the stock market crashed, and that was an opportunity. So I think we're looking at another type of situation, maybe not all at once like it did on Liberation Day, but it's a gradual decline, and instability in the economy right now. So it's very, very important. And then also from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I think it's important. We just did an episode on AI where they were saying that at a certain point, everybody's gonna have to be forced to become some level of an entrepreneur, because job security, that's something that doesn't really even exist anymore for the most part, unless you have like a union job, for example. For the most part, there's no job that's secure. And especially, you know, if the economy continues to kind of have that downward momentum, a lot of people can't get jobs, a lot of college graduates are struggling to get jobs. So you really have to look at alternative ways to create revenue. That's kind of becoming like mandatory, not really optional anymore. So I think that it's definitely important to pay attention to what's going on, but also to prepare yourself to learn about AI as much as possible, to learn about the new technology as much as possible, to learn about the creative economy, to learn about investing, learn about these things because you can take advantage of it, but if you ignore it, then I think it's going to be extremely detrimental.
Yeah, I'll just add, I think it's important what Shai said is spot on. And I had this quote we were teaching in class the other night, and I said, in times of uncertainty, the people who can find clarity will gain wealth. Right, so like in a time of uncertainty, the people who can see the vision to where we're still headed, those are the people that will gain wealth. And a lot of times we don't participate. We're like, hey, gas is high, or where can we find clarity? What are the things that we need? So understanding the sectors of the market, right? Like, so consumer staples is a sector that it doesn't matter what happens. Are you still gonna need deodorant? Are you still gonna need toothpaste?
That's right.
Right, so a company like Procter & Gamble makes sense.
Come on,
Right?
yes, sir.
Are you still gonna drink juice? Are you still gonna go to the supermarket? You're still gonna do those things, right? And so you start looking in areas that, hey, no matter what happens, this is still going to rise, right? And I always talk about companies that will make profit, right? Like, obviously, we don't wanna invest from a world standpoint in, government war type companies. Some people will, but there is clarity somewhere. And like you said, if we see tech pull back, we know tech is gonna be the future. We know AI is gonna be the future. We know that it's gonna be disruptive. When we see it on sale, right, like we did last April 7th, we gotta take advantage of that. We have to participate, or else we're gonna wonder, how did this person get to $1 trillion? How did this person get to 300 billion? Right? How did these guys still be put on events and have prosperous? Because we're investing, right? If the market is up, we're being very cautious. When the market's low, all right, it's time to get greedy. Yeah.
Let's hear it for Earn Your Leisure. I just wanted to make sure that the first time I was introduced to them was by your friend and ours, Tasha Young. And she was like, these guys are on fire. You really need to get to know them. And the second experience that I had with you is when you redid the entire TDYCC basketball court and pickleball court. So let's give a round of applause because they're going behind the scenes. We have a chapter, and it's called charitable. Oh my gosh, where's my notes? It's charitable giving, charitable. But the most important thing is they've never stopped giving. So let's give a round of applause. Thank you for their time. Please.
Yeah, and this is important, and I don't see him in the room, but a lot of the logistics that people see and how efficiently we move is because of our brother Ab. I don't see Ab in here.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about that.
he was definitely out of
Yeah, and it's important because he's another Woodlands graduate.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I say this. I want anyone to find another company that employs more residents of the town of Greenburgh.
Of course. I just wanted quick shout outs to Black Westchester in the house, AJ Woodson. And I believe Yvonne Burt from Westchester County Press is here. Let's give a round of applause for Black journalism. And Mr. Brown, can you please just share with me your company who recorded this whole event for me?
D&K Events out of
D&K Events out of
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon. Let's do a round of applause.
Now we'll
That's right. Again, I could not have done this without my town board. Round of applause for Greenburgh. Thank you so much. And again, you guys, this was the least we can do to support you, your business, your lifestyle, earn your leisure. Thank you so much for what you do for us.
Lisa, let me get a picture.
Oh, yes, okay, and somebody help me with their 30 proclamations, thank you.
You ready to stay? Stay there. Look this way, Lisa. Cool.
That was great.